It's fine. Get up, I get up. Lose focus, come on, be a good I'm gonna stay focused. Opportunities.
Ngitsaka semanyewo, ngitsaka semhlompheri, ngithi sohlangana emnqablezweni ngo-6 sithi first up espanini bafethu, sithi zanthebelep, ngithi uyangazi musi igama uma kumele lisho bafethu, ama-hustlers angiphethe sweet, everything is all legit, lesi ispani bafethu, njengoba ngithi namuhla ke sigwala imigwaqo bafethu, amabhruku-ke ayogwala-ke umoya, njengoba-ke singena lapha kuma-highway, sibheka umkhakha we-civil engineering. Samba ne-hustler lethu umrena bafethu, insizwa kuyona oqala-ke yograduate khona laphana-ke e-South African National Road Agency Scholarship bafethu eyasungulwa-ke ngomnyaka ka-2009 bafethu. Insizwa siyiqedile-ke i-degree yayo, ithi ayisafuna ukubamba amatoho, seyifuna umsebenzi o-permanent, njengoba-ke ifuna ukuthola experience laphana, ishama practicals khona-ke izongena laphana-ke e-SANRAL bafethu, ithole umsebenzi. Ake sihambe simvakashele bafethu, sikwazi ukuthi ubani nokuthi kungani-ke afuna ukungena kulo mkhakha. Question: why did the hustlers cross the road or the highway? Obvious to visit Morena at his home.
I realized at an early age because I was born squint. By squint, my left eye wasn't in line with my right eye. So, in another direction, even though Nikishibili straight. So, I was being teased a lot by other kids, you know. So, Nebang Pizza Skilo, which is a name that made me very upset, and I decided very early on to rise above it because I realized it's a talent, and I was very strong academically, and on the sports field, athletics, polo, rugby. Even though I was a social outcast and all these people used to tease me, those are some of the things that helped bring me back and be around other kids and be able to interact with other kids, and that's how I made friends, and yeah, kabashap at the end of the day.
Morena, the time another problem is squint. No, only in a head as the parents, you know, whereby when I will go to school, come back from school, I tell mama, papa, and he'll start crying. No, you know, you in a sort of family, right? That is why we went out into a Motilenyarona all the way to make sure Ram to Sano TV.
But Zolibaka were always supportive. They made sure hore akifika ai ke ngwana thabileng ke na le everything that I need. One of the big things that they did for me was that when I was 7 years old, they took me to the doctor and got for the operation, my first operation on my left eye, to Ozamawi Lukisa. So from their part, that was big, and I think it took a lot for them to do that.
Morena khutla ko sekolong alla because ne ba mthiza bana ko sekolong because I squint. I would say to him, don't worry my boy, the doctor little lookies.
I just wanted to rise above it and just to prove that my condition doesn't define who I am. And nekbaka wanta batho ba bang it can be done. It's possible. Whether you're being bullied, whether it's something that you can overcome and get through it, because that's not what you're all about. I was very good in athletics. It's about math. I could run. It's 100 meters and 200 meters.
When you were still at school, getting all the accolades, Kiwapula one day really ka di-awards evening ceremony. The way ne ba mo bitsa hangata ka teng, and ha ntse ba mmitsa lata di-awards, mme wa hae will stand up and start ululating, and you know, the parents would come to us and say, guys, we envy you. We wish bana ba rona were doing the same things that your boy is doing. And I'm, you know, you become a proud parent.
Lebitso la ka Morena, which was given to me by nkgono wa ka, means king, has always helped me face my challenges in life. I've always tried to live by it and to uphold it, because I've always wanted to make my grandmother proud, even though she's not here to see all my achievements and all my accolades. A lot of the things that I do are also for her. The significance of the name that she gave to me should always ring true in everything that I do, and it's a very important meaning, and I'll always live by it.
Yeah, I knew Morena is going to be a special kid. I could detect that at a very young age. He was bright. I don't know now, but he was bright.
In 2009, while I was campaigning to be president of the RCL, I had to motivate as to why the learners should vote for me. One of the mottos that I live by, and one of the mottos that I shared with them, was that if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then you can achieve it. That's just something that I shared with them, and I believe that is something that they took with them throughout the entire year, that year in 2010, because even to this day, 2010 was still the last year, and I don't know how many years that Motor School de Arala achieved 100% pass rate. So it truly was an inspired year, and I think I played a role in that. After completing matric, I went on to study civil engineering at the University of Pretoria. I was sponsored by the South African National Roads Agency Limited. My scholarship turned into a bursary due to my good academic results in matric. I became part of the SANRAL scholarship program by applying for it. It was advertised in one of the newspapers, and I took the decision to put in an application. So I submitted the motivational essays, and the final decision lied with SANRAL, and I was one of the 9 students chosen in Gauteng to be part of the first SANRAL scholarship program. So tomorrow I'm going for an interview at SANRAL for a position of project manager in training. I hope I make a good impression on everyone there and I get the job.
I wish him all the best of luck. Athole mosebetsi, a ithute, so that ha thola maybe promotion or something, who can add learner studying, I can impart knowledge to those learners.
So if I get this job, it will mean that I'll finally be able to make a difference in the society and the economy of South Africa. This is something that I've always strived to do. I've always strived to make a difference, especially in Africa particularly, which is why I decided to do a degree such as civil engineering, infrastructure, roads, something that will make a difference, that will be seen for the next 50 or 100 years. just arrived here at the Basel side office. I'm nervous, but at the same time very excited. I'm looking forward to the whole experience. I hope it turns out well. I hope they like me. I hope I actually impress them. What I'm expecting from the day is that I'm going to be tested. I'm going to be put through a lot of challenging tasks that I have to do and perform well so that they can actually like me and offer me a position here so that I can be a part of their team. I really hope everything goes well, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good morning, Morena.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Just to deal with the formalities, I'm Miguel Bester from the South African National Roads Agency.
Okay.
And I'd like to introduce Mr. Sabran van Dijk. He's the construction manager from Basil Reed.
Nice to meet you.
So,
Pleased to meet you.
I'm also the Limpopo Provincial Coordinator, so all the projects in the Limpopo province is coordinated by myself. So just to take us back and reflect of where you've come and where we're going, I firstly would like to congratulate you on achieving your engineering degree in civil engineering.
Thank you very much.
And so you've come a long way with SANRAL, and I think you've been fortunate and in achieving and receiving our scholarship in 2009, which was in fact part of SANRAL's inaugural scholarship program. And obviously where you met the requirements of achieving 70% on average for your maths and science, and also 65% in English, so well done. Okay, so maybe you can just tell me what is your experience been to date, and are you forward to going into the next phase, and what is your expectations?
My experience at this stage it's been a long journey, but I believe it's going to be very rewarding at the end. It was a challenging time during university. I had a lot of ups and downs, but in the end I pulled through because I'm here today. All of it happened because of the support of my parents, my sister, and a praying grandmother. They got me through it, and eventually I pulled through. But so overall, I'd say the experience was great, and I'm looking forward to this next phase of my life. I think it's going to be a very exciting time for me, and I'm looking forward to putting the things that I've learned at university, the theoretical knowledge that I've gained, and I'm looking forward to applying it in the real world out there and actually building all these big and great structures and all these roads, and making a difference for SANRAL in our economy.
I'd like to then hand over to the construction manager, Mr. Sabran van Dijk, and he will then explain what this project is about. And it's about we're on the Polokwane Ring Road Phase 2, which is a new facility project, which is a very challenging project because there's a lot of upgrading and new roads that is being built, but Mr. Sabran van Dijk will give that detail. Okay, thank you. All the best. Okay.
Thank you very much. Morena, I want to welcome you to the construction team on site.
Thank you.
I must say I was very pleasantly surprised when SANRAL contacted us and asked to place you here. It's not something that we used to. You normally go to consulting companies. I really hope that you're going to benefit a hell of a lot from the practical experience you'll pick up from the construction side. If you don't mind, I'm going to call you Mo, because that is what I've heard from SANRAL is your nickname that everyone call you.
That's fine for me.
Mo, what I just want, okay, I understand you're fresh out of university, but obviously I try to determine your practical experience you've got to date, maybe that you worked during your holidays, etc. If you can just comment on that for me.
The practical experience that I've had during my studies was that I did practical training during one of my semester holidays. During the practical training, it was mostly about being exposed to the work that they do and not physically doing anything or being actually part of the team or working with the team, but rather than I just had to be there to see what they're doing on the site and how the site works, how the contractor liaises with the consultant, and how the client is involved during the client meetings. And I got to be exposed to asphalt. They were laying asphalt on the site that I was at, and also slurry. There wasn't a lot of major structures, so I wasn't really exposed to any sort of concrete work or any concrete operations. I did a little bit of surveying at the time, but at the time I didn't really understand it. This was in my third year, so my knowledge was also very limited still. And yeah, it was mainly just to expose me to the environment of being on a construction site, but not to really enhance my technical ability in any way. But yeah, it was a learning curve just to see exactly what's happening and how the bigger picture comes together.
You know, if you actually follow the right processes, you can actually sit without a project. So my advice to you is, and as I've seen it and noted that, you know, you are a teachable young man, and just remain open-minded in the same vein. So the purpose of today is that Basil Reed will be your mentor, and they will provide you with 3 tasks, and then at the end of the day, we will then evaluate. We'll come back and evaluate your performance, and to ascertain whether this is the appropriate site for you to remain on and get your relevant experience.
Kaofela ha rona re na le ditsela tse re tlamehang ho di tsamaya, ene ka nako e nngwe di patehile tje ka letlotlo. Ke ka ho o tlamehang ho sebetsa ka thata hore o di fumane. Morena yena o di tsamaile dithaba tsa hae ka ho sebetsa ka thata, ene mane ko interview o banile le bonnete ka bokgoni ba hae, a hatella maikemisetso a ho ithuta. Civil engineering e na le makala a mangata. Ke morena ya kgethileng di-highway, di-concrete le di-project management. And di-civil engineers di a hlokahala hobane naha ya rona e tswela pele e ntse e hola le meaho ya hlokahala. Ha e ka ba le wena o na le kgatlhego lekaleng lena, e kopanye le di-company tsa lefapha lena o santsane o le sekolong. Mahaslas, di-civil engineer di a plana, di a designer, di a maintainer, and ba shebana le di-project kaofela tsa constructions. Ntho ena e habedi, o ka ba consultant mo e leng gore o ilo designer and hangata o officing, kapa o ka ba contractor mo e leng gore o ilo beya leihlo la hao meahong ho netefatsa gore dintho kaofela di tsamaya ka tshwanelo mane ko saeteng. A he Mahaslas di tsela di teng, ho wena ho kgetha.
Hustlers, yabona thina ke eshayela imoto siyathanda ke ukukhononda ke ngesimo esibi semgwaqo yakhona la eMzantsi Afrika. Kodwa ngifuna ukwazi kini nabantu ke abasebahambela ke amanye amazwe angaphandle khona la eAfrika. Kuthi ngokubona kwenu ngabe ke imigwaqo yethu ingcono noma ke imibi masiqhathaniswa ke namanye amazwe khona la eAfrika. Usomahlaya ke uTrevor no ucabanga ukuthi imigwaqo yethu yakhona la eMzantsi bafethu ingcono kabi ukudlula le yase-America. Ngithi ake siphawuleni khona lapha ku Facebook na ku Twitter njengamanje.
My name is Charles Rapadi, Director at Leprogo Specialist Engineers. I'm a civil engineering professional technician. Right now I'm working under KBK as the resident engineer assistant, looking after the structures on the project. Morena, now that you're done with your safety induction, I think it's time that we go to the bridge. This is Bridge 137, and at Bridge 137, this is where your first task is going to be. Okay. Your first task will be to do the pre-inspection before we put in concrete. Okay. On the pre-inspection, I'll expect you to check the drawings, if the drawing number is correct, and you'll need to check, considering the magnitude of this project, because we've got more structures, I will want you to check using this inspection sheet. It will be able to guide you as to what needs to be done. Your reinforcement, your formwork, and any other thing that will be inserted in the concrete. I think let's just walk to the bridge.
ngibheke kwesokudla, ngibheke kwesesinxele, ngibheke kwesokudla futhi ngabe kuphephile ukuthi ngiyeqa bafethu. I think it is safe for me to cross over to you bafethu. Njengoba simbonile uMrena bafethu abhanqa-ke i-civil engineering, highway engineering, materials properties and project management bafethu. Njengoba ayihlanganisa azama-ke ukuzakhela ikusasa eligqamile khona laphana-ke SANRAL bafethu. But right now, let me give you something with twists and turns more than a cul-de-sac bafethu, which is our word jumble for this week. Ngaphambi ukuthi nihlangane nama-roadblock, or should I say brain block, let me help you out bafethu nginikeza amahlo amabini, which are your letters C and E. Uma-ke uyazi impendulo ngena laphana ku-Twitter naku-Facebook. But right now, let's change lanes singene ku-fast lane bafethu. Siyobona uMrena laphana-ke azo-inspector isite ngaphambi ukuthi abasebenzi-ke baqove udaka. Ngithi caution, roadworks ahead.
Mo, this is the bridge structure that you're going to be working on. This is the base. It's still bridge 137. And I will need you to use this as the basis of your checklist for the pre-concrete inspection.
Okay, firstly, I want to check the reinforcing bars. From the drawing, I can see that we need 31 Y10s at the bottom and at the top in terms of the bars that are going straight across us here.
That's correct.
I'm going to use visual inspection. Just by visual inspection, I can see that these are Y10 bars. I just want to check the spacing as well as the splice length.
In task 1, Mo has to do a pre-concrete inspection. And the way he's going to conduct that inspection, I'm going to give him a pre-inspection checklist. On the checklist, it will show him that he needs to check that the revision of the drawing that he's using is the correct one or the latest version, as we change the versions if there's something that changes in the structure. And then he's going to check the reinforcement, he's going to check the sizes of the reinforcement, he's going to check the splicing of the reinforcement, he's going to check the cover on the reinforcement, he's also going to check if the correct reinforcement is placed at the correct positions.
Can I please borrow your tape just to check for the spacing as well as the splice length?
Yeah, I can borrow you my tape. Here we go.
What I think being a project manager entails is that basically having a whole overview of the project, managing the project in terms of the funds, the resources, and making sure that there's always that link between the consultant and the contractor, and to ensure that the contractor is keeping up with the program that they've set out.
Okay.
And then
Remember, you need to mark for each and every one that you've checked so that you don't come back and recheck the same thing again.
I knew how to check the sizes in terms of visual inspection because these are things that I have hands-on experience with in terms of university, and I've learned them before. In terms of the splice lengths, the specifications were provided, so I could check it using a tape measure just to measure if they've reached what had to be achieved according to the drawing. During the pre-concrete inspection, I had to, for the particular base that they were going to cost today, I had to go through the drawing and see that I understand it and can follow the drawing in terms of the reinforcement, and check through the specifications in terms of the splice lengths and the cover that is required. The process that I went through was that I went through checking, the first thing that I did was that I checked the reinforcing that was placed on that particular base, whether it was the correct reinforcement and was it at the right spacing. Okay, so I'm gonna just go check that the starter bars for the walls are up.
Yes.
Okay, let's just see that they've been properly placed.
Yes.
And because we've, like you said,
Yeah.
because we've already checked that the spacing is sufficient,
Yeah.
then I don't really need to go and count all the bars because we can ensure that they're all there.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing that the client are bringing in students to come here and get the experience, because it also opened the doors into this industry that we transfer the skills to the newer guys so that they also learn and understand exactly what's done. Because what happens at school and what happens here, it might be a little bit, it's more theoretical at school than what you really do on site.
I just want to have a look at this wall to check the starter bars and to ensure that there's enough cover for the formwork.
Okay.
My worry here is that I don't see enough cover blocks in this area. I think we need another cover block around here just to ensure that we keep that steel away from the formwork and to ensure that there's enough spacing for us here. I don't know, what do you think?
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and I'm glad that you picked that up. I'll talk to the foreman once you've done the inspection that he must come and rectify this, because before he can put in concrete, we must make sure that all the specifications as per drawings are correct, and then we can. But I'll ask the foreman to do it.
I think we just need another cover block.
I think a good project manager, in my opinion, I think he should be someone who's able to listen, who is able to not take things lightly. If, say for instance, it's drawings and maybe the guys have got challenges on site, he mustn't overlook the works. He must actually be hands-on.
Morena, o na le yona tsebo, o tlameha fela ho netefatsa re checklist ya hae ke sesupo sa hae. Diteko tsa concrete ke go sheba matla kapa bofokodi ba yona. Baithuti he ba lekola tshebediso ya concrete dibakeng tse fapaneng. Ka dithuto o hloka senior certificate ya exemption. Ka tlwaelo maths le physical science di compulsory. Di subjects tse di ka o thusang he ke tsona tsa computer studies, geography le technical drawing. Mahaslas katlego ha re ilo re fela ra tsoha ra isebeletsa ka thata. Ko tasking e latelang re bona Morena a tlameha ho netefatsa re dintho di tsamaya ka tshwanelo ha concrete ya hae e tshelwa.
My name is Aubrey Lowe. I'm currently employed by Basil Reed. I'm site agent on the Polokwane Eastern Ring Road for the structures. I'm basically overseeing all the structures and concrete works on the Polokwane Eastern Ring Road and ensuring all operations run smoothly. Hi Mo, this is task 2. I presume it went well in the pre-concrete inspection, otherwise we wouldn't have been in task 2 pouring the concrete. What I want you to do today is I want you to do a slump test. I want you to oversee the whole concrete operations as to see and make sure the compaction is done well by the guys, to make sure there's no slush leaks, unnecessary slush leaks, and to make sure all the shutters are stayed in place, the formwork basically are in place and properly stayed, and to ensure during the concrete operations everything runs smoothly. Okay Mo, as you can see they already started pouring the concrete. Okay. The main thing to do here is we need to ensure the concrete is placed as much as possible into the corner side and not heap up too much of a concrete.
Puka vibrator weekend straight. Weekend straight. And then just vibrates the concrete until one of the air bubbles, until the air bubbles start not to come out. And then we can know for sure that the concrete has been compacted properly.
biggest challenge in the concrete operation is definitely the deck pour. Because of the extent of the concrete, the amount of concrete you need to pour, and it must be poured continuously. Let's say, for instance, it's about 800, 900 cubes that must be poured in one day. So Mo will assist them mostly there to help me organize and ensure all the operations are running smoothly.
In terms of the movement and the placing of the concrete, I just need to make sure that they don't pour concrete all at one place. They just need to make sure they gradually spread it around. Exactly. So when the next truck comes, we just need to make sure that they don't place all the concrete in just one spot. Just blend it well, yeah. Just blend it well in. The formwork had to be put up for the particular base, and the steel had to be fixed and put into place. The cover blocks added, spacing, they made sure that the spacing was correct. They had to put in some splicing, which are some of the things that just have to happen before that kind of pour happens. And then obviously we went in for the pre-concrete inspection to make sure that everything was in place and everything was correct according to the drawing, and then the concrete operation happened. Once they start pouring the concrete, to ensure that the concrete operation goes well, there's certain things that we need to look out for, such as the things that I was checking for to ensure that the guys are doing a good job and ensuring that the concrete operation goes well. Things such as ensuring that they're not heaping the concrete in one place, to ensure that it makes it easier for them, firstly, so that they don't have to move the concrete around with their shovels. Or secondly, to ensure that not too much pressure is put in one place. Otherwise, the formwork can actually pop out because it's designed to only withstand a particular pressure. So we don't want to put that much pressure on it. Also, we need to make sure about that they're vibrating the concrete sufficiently, to ensure that all the air is released so that the concrete can actually compact and reach its maximum strain that it was designed for. We also need to ensure that they're using the vibrator the right way. They have to put it in vertically and not horizontally. They shouldn't move the concrete with the vibrator itself. I think they must just push it with their shovel and then push it over and then fire the vibrator in there.
I like the satisfaction I get out of it. It's seeing a thing from the bottom. We're all struggling as a team, and it's coming up. And at the end of the day, the roads get paved and over your structure, and that's where you really start noticing that, man, we are finished now.
Hey sir, Sheba bro, we sky tell up the no tell, but unwe sky tell up the king you want. In task 2, I think I did good. I think I handled myself very well. I was able to talk to the guys, and they responded to the things that I asked them to do. And I respected everyone there, and I worked with the guys well.
Morena o thata ka mosebetsing ene wa supa hore o na le experience ya ho sebetsa mane ko saeteng le kaleng lena o tlameha hore o be analytical o bane le bokgoni bo tibileng ka tsa sevele ene o kgone go buisana le go sebedisana le basebetsi mmogo ba hao o bane le botsebi ka tse ding tsa engineering haholo makala a sebedisanang le a sevele e kemisetsa go sebetsa ka tlase ha boima ene hape o sebetse ka nako Mahaslasi, mufufutso, o ka se o game. Ha fela wena o sebedisa ho sebetsa ka thata, sebetsa sa hao, le katleho, e tla ba le kgoba la hao. Ha ntho tsa concrete di le bohlokwa, mona tasking ya ho qetela, re bona Morena a tlameha hore a lekole e leng sona senotlolo sa hae.
I'm Andrew McKellar. I'm the assistant resident engineer on site, and I'm in charge of quality, that things are built according to the standards that we require. And I'm also in charge of quantity, which means that the contractor gets paid the right amount of money at the end of the day. So Mo, how have your other two tests been?
The tasks went very well. I think I did pretty good. I enjoyed them for the most part, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the last task that I'm.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, for task 3, we're going to be doing the concrete strength test. So the concrete that we sampled from site has been brought to the site laboratory, all right, and has been made into a cube. The cube we cure underwater for 28 days, all right, so they're sitting there waiting for us. We're now going to crush that cube and discover what strength the concrete really was and whether it meets the specification that was required by the engineer. Yeah, so we want to see if that concrete passes or fails.
Morena uyisikoko uyi-foundation yepapa as we see our man cementing his future khona laphana ke SANRAL. But right now let's take a detour bafethu si-off ramp ngiyabona laphana nishawa ama-speed bumps bafethu nishaya ama-potholes kuwe jumble so athi ngincede nginikeza another clue which is the letter N. Ngithemba ukuthi izonginceda bafethu izongikhipha kule traffic jam enizithola kuyo uma sibuya emva kwekhefu sewona ukuthi ngabe insizwa ke iyawuthola umsebenzi thina-ke ake sibambe i-short lap bafethu siyobhadala iy'koloto yazi ama-traffic fines bafethu. We'll be right back.
Okay, so the concrete was cured for 28 days. Let's go get those cubes and test them. So this is the concrete, the curing tanks where we've got the concrete samples. The water's a nice 25 degrees centigrade, temperature controlled. And the sample we want to get out is that one over there.
All right, so should I get it?
Please take it out.
Okay.
In task 3, Mo has to perform the concrete cube test. This is to test the strength of the concrete to make sure that it was the right quality concrete that went into the structure. My expectations of him is that he'd follow the test method correctly.
Um, 8,414 grams.
Will you write that down for me? Right. This is sample 4364. We test the concrete. We test all the materials that go into the pavement, into the road, and into the structures. So the concrete, the reinforcing steel, the gravel that goes into the road building, the asphalt that goes into the road building, all of those need to be tested and need to meet the specifications with which the designer set for them.
We wouldn't be able to test the concrete before the actual pour because the strength that we require from the concrete that we're casting can only, most of the times, can only be reached after 28 days.
Right, you can put that down. Now,
what's the procedure?
Now we get to put it in this baby. All right, okay. You're going to bring the cube from there. We need the cast face, so this face that was facing the top when it was made, that must be on the side when we put it into the machine. Okay. The block needs to go nice and square in the middle.
So this, I'm assuming this would be the cast face.
Correct, correct.
So I'd have to put it in that range. Okay.
All right, that's it. That's it. Let's take a closer look at the sample itself. We need to see if the break pattern is correct.
Okay. If we crush the cubes and we found out that the strength is not sufficient, we'd have to go through a lot of processes to ensure where it all fell apart. because it could have been from the lab side. They didn't compact the cubes well, so that could have affected the strength itself. Maybe the curing bath wasn't at the right temperature. There's a whole lot of aspects to look at.
What I enjoy about the testing is that it's hands-on, it's in the field, and it makes sure that we get quality products for our money. It also makes it also means we get safe structures and safe roads, and roads that will last a long time.
Oh, welcome back from site. I hope you enjoyed your experience there out on site. We will get to that now, but I just want to find out quickly, what did you do there out on site, your 3 tasks that we set you?
The tasks that I was put through on site are, first one, I did a pre-concrete inspection. The second task, I had to ensure that a concrete operation ran smoothly. And then the third task was a cube crushing test that I had to conduct in the lab.
Okay, beautiful. Now, Mo, just to ask one of the questions that I would like to ask is, obviously when you got to site, you were inducted in the health and safety. It's a very, very important part of construction. It's something that we don't take lightly. So what happened there out on site with you with the induction, that is a norm that is in the construction industry. And as I say, it's health and safety is a big priority with Basil Reed as well. We aim for as many as possible hours. Our aim that we set ourselves is 1.5 million accident-free hours. And I personally will drive that, and we hope that we will achieve that. Mo, to give you a bit of feedback from what was reported back, you had actually 3 guys outside on site that sort of mentor you and put you through the practical phase of the task that was allocated to you. And I must say that it's all 3 sections. Your attitude was mentioned, and I really appreciate that, and your willingness to learn. And you know, your whole, how you conduct yourself out on site was very nice, the report backs. You excelled, did excellent on what you did there outside. I'm very pleased, and I can definitely, based on the reports that I receive, is to recommend to SANRAL they must keep you, otherwise I'm going to steal you one of these days. But very well done, and I must say the reports that I've got is you performed very well there out on site.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So, Morena, I think that was very positive feedback. And I think it must have been very refreshing for you to apply your theoretical knowledge and apply that practically. And from the sounds and the feedback from the mentors, you've actually mastered the 3 tasks. And so well done. And it seems that you have, you responded appropriately, you complied with the technical standards, the technical specifications, and the quality assurance, which is very critical in constructing a new road. So having said that, we believe that, and we're confident that you should complete the 18 months phase of this construction phase as part of your development and training program with SANRAL. Well done.
I've had a very amazing and exciting day, truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The 3 tasks that I was given some challenging, some very simple, but all of them are very great learning experience for me. I'm looking forward for this next part of my journey. I'm looking forward to being part of this great and amazing team. I'm looking forward to learning and growing in this industry and someday contributing to our economy and SANRAL. This is truly a great experience for me, and I hope and pray that someday all of you, most of you that want to be in this industry get to be in the same position that I'm in. I'm truly privileged, and I really appreciate the opportunities that have been bestowed upon me. What I'd like to say to you guys out there is that keep pushing, keep working hard, don't give up. It's gonna get challenging, it's gonna get difficult, but just keep your head up. I've lived my life with the quote that if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then you can achieve it. So all of you can. Keep hustling, pressa, pusha, panda.
Well done, Morena. Re ithutile ka wena gore katlego ke thaba e o ka se ipalameng ka matsogo a le ka pokotong. Potso ya rona ya beke ena e tswa ko SD Hawk. A re yena o batla o tseba ditlhokwa tsa go ithutela animation. Di-animators ba sebedisa ditshwantsho tsa graphics. Ha se o qetile o ka ba artist wa ba morutisi wa art, cartoonist kapa yona graphic design. O hloka senior certificate e tla o dumelang gore o etse matric kapa diploma. Ha go subject e compulsory empa ya art e ka o thusa. E kopanye le banemisa go fumana ka di-courses tsa bona le di-training tsa bona. Hore o thole experience e fumanele in-service training. Ha e ka ba hona le ho sa o fumanang, hopola o checkela Facebook kapa website ya rona. Ke emetse ya hao potso.
I'm on my way, I'm on my way. Gisendleleni yona ga amagama akhulunywa umrena bafethu jaka ke re umrena ka nnete as I bow down to you and sing you praise emsebenzini wakho omusha bafethu sifisela inhlanhla kuyo yonke into ozabe uyenza kodwa nina lapha emakhaya khamba kanjani lapha ku word jumble nginikeze impendulo bafethu igama kade silifuna hi concrete bafethu uma uyitholile your answers were solid uma ungatholanga better luck next week bafethu mina kumfana kamntambo ngidonsa zonke itambo sengiphuma kanje akahlanganeni khona lapha enkundleni zokuxhumana bafethu Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, and also our website. Uyidlala uyiphinde yazi ngama repeats ngo Thursday ngo 11 o'clock. Mina mfana mntami ngithi don't look down, look up and stay concentrating. You are driving on the highway to your success.